We welcome all the analysts and the investors who are all present in this virtual meet. It's been a long day. I think the day will end with a, exhaustive interactive session with all the analyst friends. And Q3, probably we are the last one to come out with the results among the PSBs. So Q3 too has been good like Q1 and Q2. There are lots of positives which were done in the Q1 and Q2 have been carried forward. Certain new initiatives have also been taken, especially with regard to asset quality, with a view to safeguard further, possibilities of any kind of shock that we may encounter going forward, this current quarter as also subsequent quarters. The top line, we had a good, decent growth of about 14%, and comprising 17% in the deposits and almost 10% in advances. Deposits, CASA deposits grew by about 12%, and in the advances segment, RAM segment grew by 10%, and MSME by 14%, retail 11%, agri about 6%. Overall, it's been a good business quarter for us. We have, like the first and second quarters, we have also stayed ahead of the banking system as far as deposit and loan growth are concerned. Having a fourfold increase in net profit also is a redeeming feature. That too after doing a lot of provisioning upfront and over and above the required mandate, including provisioning for pro forma NPA. Operating profit has been decent, although comparable quarter last year, it shows a decline, mainly because of one-off item which was there last time around. Otherwise, operating profit will show a growth of about 9%. Our NIM has come under a slight, 8 bps, it has come down, domestic NIM, but we believe that's a feature that is common to many banks, especially in the aftermath of rate transmission and new benchmark rate like repo. So, but we feel comfortable that we will bring it back to 270 to 75 range going forward, and our business growth guidance will be about 8 to 8.5% for this current year, and for the next year, when we expect a lot of demand, it will be in the range of 10 to 12%. Regarding capital, we are comfortable. Regulatory capital is very comfortable. Some amount of growth capital also we do have. 12.51 is the CRAR and 9.44 is the CET1. Of course, we have not factored the recent 750 crore that we mobilized in 81 bonds. We are soon going as part of our board approved plan for Tier 2 bonds, and followed up by a QIP possibly by the end of this month or early next financial year. Overall, it's been a good quarter where we have done a lot of proactive and preemptive provisions over and above the mandates. For example, the pro forma NPA also we have taken due care and we have provided, although recovery efforts are concurrently on. For example, out of 5,800 crore of pro forma NPA, we have already recovered 660 crore. I think our approach is more skewed towards asset quality, conventional business, but from Q2 onwards, we have been very conscious of the fact that asset quality is going to be a decisive factor as far as our P&L is concerned. More so in the COVID and post-COVID scenario and the Supreme Court standstill. So all in all, it's been a good, rewarding quarter for us. We will consolidate the good aspects in this quarter also with about 40 days left, and we'll try to also improve business further, and volume-led growth we will aim at so that our net interest income also could be improved substantially. I think with this introductory remark, I think we will keep the floor open now to questions.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and one on your touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1. The first question is from the line of Ashok Ajmera from Ajcon Global. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, sir. And,
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Ajmera. Your voice is breaking. May I request you to come in a better reception area, please?
Yeah, now, how is it now? Can you hear me?
No, sir. Your voice is still breaking. Sir, may I request you to rejoin the queue?
So, can you hear me?
No. Sir, we can hear you, but your voice is breaking a lot.
I think you'll rejoin.
Let him rejoin.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Prasanna, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, this is regarding the development on the bulk deposit front. So what is the cost and what are your views on the bulk deposit area of banking?
Yeah. You can catch.
Yeah. See, we have bulk deposits of the order of around 60,000 crores, but in the strictest terms, these bulk deposits are not deposits which are at high cost. These deposits are at a discount to a normal rate. That's not a major issue for us.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Shishi Choksi from Indus Equity Advisors. Please go ahead.
Sir, good afternoon. Congratulations on a good, stable result.
Good afternoon, sir. Thanks.
Sir, what is your guidance on credit cost? Return on assets and return on equity, basic.
Mr. Choksi, sorry to interrupt you. Your voice is not coming clear.
I said, good afternoon, thanks, and stable result. So my first question is, what is your credit cost guidance for next 12 months?
I think credit cost guidance that it will be remaining within 2. It will be in the range of 1.5 to 2. And a lot of provisioning we have already made. That is evident from our PCR number. Now, fresh slippages, if any, they will define the credit cost, but we expect it to be within the range of 1.5 to 2 max. And
so are we being conservative with PCR without write-off at 83.5% and with technical write-off at 89.3 at 1.5 and 2%? Or we are in the restructuring book led by COVID, we are estimating some problems.
No, we are not estimating problems. We had our assumptions at the beginning of the restructuring exercise. The traction has been quite less, not as much as we expected. There are not many takers, especially in the corporate segment and in the retail segment too. So we are not expecting much of a problem there. And that apart, our provision also has been kept up to date. Rather, it has been front-ended, so to say, to take care of any kind of future shocks. So that way there are no issues in that. It's an ongoing exercise. Our entire employees are in a feet on the street mode now for the next 40-45 days. So as much as possible we will do it. So there is no risk upside to that according to us. And as regards return on asset, yes, 0.28 is now. I think by the year end we will expect maybe in the range of 0.45 to 0.50 because it was on a low base, so it will be in the range of 0.50.
So what's your thought process on CASA deposits, specifically main led by which is savings account in
CASA? You see, we got a 12% growth in CASA. And I think that's a fairly decent number. and we have got a lot of support from the government departments and government deposit front also. Many schemes, we are the linked bank. So CASA is not an issue. Yes, current deposits we are trying to address. There are little volatility in current deposits. Otherwise, savings we have done exceptionally well.
Now you gave us a guidance on advances and deposits already for the year around 8%. Where are you seeing based on that on absolute number where gross NPA and net NPA are concerned and by the year end?
Gross NPA number for the year end, that number in a worst case scenario, I will say it will be about 14.5 compared to 13.25 as of now. And net NPA ratio we will maintain below 3%.
So how are you seeing your treasury income in the coming quarters with the current challenges which have emerged after 11th of January? And are you seeing sustainable number quarter on quarter, or there would be a fair decline in the calendar year 21?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, the year so far has been very good, and as you said, post January 11, there seem to be some challenges, but RBI is going to continue with its accommodative stance. It will continue to intervene in the market. It will continue with its OMO operations, and it will give us opportunities.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. Sir, may I request you to speak a little louder, please?
Yeah, I would do that.
It is not working.
Okay, sir. My last question before I join the queue again. So you made a wage provision of 1856 compared to 1503 in the second quarter and 1451 in the first. Was it this is because of deficit as per the new wage revision package it was signed, or is some exceptional increase over there?
There is no exceptional increase as such. It's only because of the bipartite and
agreement. Okay.
Yeah.
And what would you estimate your annual wage bill around 6,000 crores or a little higher than 6?
Yeah, around it is, yes.
Around 6,000.
Not more than that.
Okay, sir. Thank you and all the best. I'll come back to you in the queue for the next question.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashok Ajmera from Ashcon Global. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. I hope you can hear me now, sir.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good afternoon, sir, or rather good evening, and compliments again for yet another quarter of good results,
Yes, sir.
which requires a lot of effort in spite of having only one executive director in the bank as compared to 4 in some of the other peer banks. So, compliment. Sir, I have got a couple of observations and the questions. Number one, this 81 bond you came out with 750 crore you collected.
Mm-hmm.
It was something about beyond 9% coupon rate, which is I think the highest among the PSCs, public sector banks, PSB. So what is the reason, sir, for such low collection and offering such high rate of interest, coupon rate?
Sir, actually, our one of the rating was AA minus, and if you see, some of the banks have taken the coupon at around 8.8, has gone up to 8.80, though State Bank of India coupon was less than 8%. So 81, because risk participation is there, so it attracts higher rate of interest. It was 9.04. So it is on the expected lines because one of our rating was AA minus. It is on estimated basis only. Whereas Tier 2 may get at a lesser coupon which we are proposing.
Our rating supports that.
Yeah, our rating also supports that.
So the rating is supposed to be upgraded now, that AA minus?
Yeah. That is.
These are two different instruments. There are two different ratings then.
Yeah, correct.
Tier 1 and Tier 2 bond. Tier 2 bond we got already AA plus valid up to 23 or 22.
Yes.
22. So to that extent, we will get discount on the coupon. But here it was predominantly, to some extent, market appetite. Number one, like one or two banks that tried just before ours came out and it didn't succeed. We got bids in excess of 1,000 crore, but we decided a cutoff of 9.04 and took 750.
All right, sir. Sir, what is our collection efficiency in this December quarter?
About 75% overall, but maximum is 89% in retail and 79% in MSME. It changes. Every week it changes that number. But December, this was the number.
So the performance is lackluster in case of the corporate, isn't it?
Corporate also same, almost 57-58%. So there are challenges for everywhere. It's never an ideal situation, and more so in a COVID and post-COVID. Corporate, corporate 74%.
Corporate 74%.
Yeah, corporate 74, retail is max at 89.
Okay. Sir, one observation on note number 11, because of the Supreme Court, decision, but for that, the gross NPA would have been 60,517 and net NPA 13,725 versus 54,997 and 9,077. So if you take out the difference, the gross NPA would have gone up by 5,520 crore, whereas net NPA also came down by 3,648 crore. So how, is it that the 70% provision almost is already made on this? Because the difference in the net NPA is whopping 3,648 crore.
Yeah, we have made additional provisioning in the pro forma NPA, URI, so that is why it is coming down. Over and above the requirement, we have done the provisioning.
Because the gross NPA would have gone up only by 5,500 crore, whereas the net NPA difference is 3,648 crore.
Yeah, we have done upfront provisioning on these accounts, although we are certain that all these numbers will not definitely crystallize into NPA because the recovery action is on. But as a matter of prudence, we have done the provision on our entire pro forma NPA. So, in a way, we will expect, as the things pan out, good number of reversals of the provision reversals also.
But still you are maintaining gross NPA of 14.5% can be up to the end of the year.
Yeah.
So by that time you think that Supreme Court judgment might come?
Yeah, we hope so. But we are prepared for the worst.
All right. Sir, next is note number 13. You have given the figures of divergence. Was it required in this quarter? Because I don't think any other bank has given for any RBI, audit and divergence numbers. So 358 crore in this quarter. I think the difference you have provided, isn't it?
Shivasya Sigram. When we have the leeway, I think it's better always to provide for it. Like, we have complied with the regulator also. That's a plus point. Rather than waiting for, future. So we thought
that's what only I'm saying, that the profit otherwise would have been much higher, isn't it?
Absolutely. Much higher.
And sir, this operating profit going down by almost as compared to the last quarter by 350 crore, or say I think something around 250 crore, is only because of that salary bill burden, or is there any other extra item of the
salary provision will not come there. It was basically last quarter, that is precisely Q2, we had one extraordinary head under which, that is IT refund, interest on IT refund, we got the benefit of 280 crore. But that was not available this time around. That was a one-off case. So that probably is the only difference. If that was not there, the operating profit would have been flat.
And sir, this dispute resolution, that one case of 180 days not expired as per the new guidelines as on 1st March 2020 of 376 crore. Which is this case, or if you cannot give the name, the segment, the industry?
Sir, 180 days, I think, airlines.
Note number 15.
Note number 15. We will get back to you on this, sir. We will get back to you. Please inform. Check it and inform. Right. Aviation. It's in aviation sector.
This is aviation.
Yeah.
And some light on those 5 accounts of 203 crore. Provision has been made on that. Those 5 accounts for which the resolution could not be worked out up to 180 days.
Names you can't give.
Names is not, but wherever there are some stress or there is some resolution going on, we have provided additional provision. It has to be on the safer side there, so that our P&L will not get any strain going forward.
Okay, the problem with the accounts, Ashokji, those 5 accounts, the problem with those 5 accounts are most of the accounts are in NCLT. Admit nahi hua. Okay. एंड रेजोल्यूशन नहीं था तो 180 डेज तो खत्म हो गई है. प्रूडेंशियल फ्रेमवर्क के हिसाब से प्रोवाइड करना पड़ेगा हमको. तो रेजोल्यूशन नहीं हुआ बिकॉज वो एनसीएलटी में है. एनसीएलटी में जिस दिन एडमिट होगा ये रिवर्स हो जाएगा.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Ajmera. I'll request you to come back in the question queue for a follow-up question. I request to all the participants, please restrict to 2 questions per participant. If time permit, please come back in the question queue for a follow-up question. The next question is from the line of Chayant from Qtr3. Please go ahead.
Hello. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, sir. First question, sir, is the pro forma NPA number. Can you give us the absolute amount that you have provided on this 5,800 crore?
706 crore. 706.
Okay. And sir, on the restructured book, do you have any early estimates on what could be the quantum of this book?
Quantum of what?
A restructured book. The fresh restructuring.
As on date, it is 10,000 crores. It will continue to be as such.
You're not estimating a significant rise in that book?
No.
And sir, the SMA2 number which has gone up, does this include the pro forma NPA?
Yes.
So that would be only by the quantum of pro forma NPA, meaning you're not estimating any further stress beyond the 6,000 crore on your overall book?
No, of course, in the last quarter, what happens is, if you see the trend line of NPA numbers for the bank for the last 3 years, it is actually the gradient is downwards. So from that perspective, it will be around 10,000 crores. That's what our estimate is. It will continue to be there as of 31st March 2021.
Okay. And sir, what is your capital requirement? How much is the issue size that you're looking at?
Capital requirement as of now, we have actually got around 750 in 81. Ideally, we need around 4,000 crores. So we are looking at that. Depending upon how government is going to respond, we'll take a call on that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question.
706. 761.
हमारा presentation में 706 लिखा है.
761.
The next question is from the line of Jay Mundra from BNK Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Good afternoon. I have a couple of questions, sir. First is on restructuring. So what is the number, what is the one-time restructuring request that we had received in this quarter? Because I think the restructuring slide that you have given is hardly changed. I mean, so what is the restructuring quantum request that we have received?
Around 39,425 applications we have received. The amount is 6,000 crores.
Okay, so the amount was how much, sir? 6,000.
6,000.
Sorry, it is not very clear, sir.
No, the number of accounts where requests have been received is 49,425. Okay, and the amount involved therein is 6,133 crore to be precise.
Okay, and this okay, and any breakup, sir, in corporate, retail, and MSME?
Retail it is 1,800 crore. MSME is 918 crore and corporate sector is 3,400 crore.
Okay, and within corporate, sir, out of this 3,400 crore, can you bifurcate into, let us say, A, organized retail, B, power, etc. I mean other sectors that you may have.
You have answered it yourself.
Okay. So, sir, the quantum, sir. I mean, or maybe 2, 3.
Organized retail itself will be a little around more than 60% of that.
Okay. Right. And this 6,000 crore number, this is not there in the slide, right? So, because these may not have been implemented, the slide that we have given is the number of implemented restructuring, right?
Precisely, yeah. No, but however, one thing I can tell you, in the slide that we have given, the OTR implemented to the extent of 1,178, that is around 1,200 crore is already included in this slide.
That's right, 10,000. 1 plus 1.
1,200 is included.
Right. Okay. Right, sir. And sir, now I'll do the next section, which is SMA 1-2. I think you had clarified that the SMA 2 number that we have given, that also includes the pro forma slippages, right?
Yes.
So if I were to remove the pro forma slippages, assuming they are already there in your pro forma GNPA, then the SMA2 is only 3,200 something, right?
Yes. As of that date, 31st December.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. And then SMA1 is also you have given 3,100. Yeah. But the only confusing part is, so SMA1, SMA2 all put together is like less than 5%, and your collection efficiency is 75. So does that mean that around 20% of the book is SMA0? I mean, how should one tie these things?
Yeah, that's a great question. 20% is not there. It's around 11% is SMA0 because see, there is a lag that is happening because of COVID issue. Okay. And many of these accounts are still enjoying moratorium in terms of the RBI guidelines. The payments are slowly coming now. Because many of them have got their accounts rescheduled, many of them have got FITLs funded, interest funded, all that. So from that point of view, your guess is right, but it is not 20%, it is around 11%.
Right, sir. And last question, sir, before I come back to the queue, if you can provide the sectoral breakup of the pro forma slippages of 5,500 crores, mainly retail, corporate, agri, SME.
Pro forma hai, hamare paas hai.
One second.
Yeah. It is agriculture is 1,000 crore, agriculture 1,600 crore, SME, agriculture 1,600, SME 649, retail 294 crore.
Retail is 249 crore, right?
Others, corporate sector is 2,500 crore.
Right. Okay. Thank you, sir. I'll come back in the queue. Thank you.
Thank you. A request to all the participants, please restrict to 2 questions per participant. If time permits, please come back in the question queue for a follow-up question. The next question is from the line of Ashok Ajmera from Ashcon Global Service. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thanks for giving the opportunity again. Sir, in view of, I would like to have your views on the number one, on the budget optimism and the announcement of the bad bank, so-called, asset reconstruction company by the bankers, which will have a sovereign guarantee of the government. That's what, we understand. How, according to you, it will be beneficial to the bank like you and overall for the banking system or for the credit system of the country, sir?
Bad bank is a concept which is being advocated for quite some time. Although sufficient cleansing of the system is happening, but still banks are holding huge amount of impaired assets. Now, bad bank is a good concept. I think we have to know the contours of the scheme and all once it gets finalized. We have a feeling that it will be of help to banks in cleaning up further their balance sheet and moving ahead. We have to look at the contours of the entire scheme. But overall, I feel it will be a positive move.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. For the budget optimism and the kind of amount is going to be spent by the government and the overall, reliance on the deficit financing and giving major flip to the growth. With that, will you not change your own credit growth target? And firstly, and secondly, are you capable of that based on your own capital base? Like how much comfortable you are for growing your credits, your advances?
Yeah, first of all, about deficit financing or budget announcement, that was a dire necessity. Dire necessity was to go consciously for some fiscal slippage. Then only the multiplier effect will facilitate bounce back of the economy. It has happened in many countries, so there are no two opinions about that. Now, as regards the appetite, I think most of the banks, including Bank of India, we do have the appetite now. We are expanding credit. As I told, in a down market, we have been able to show credit growth of 10%. We are mobilizing more capital now to create that elbow room for further capital, further loan growth. So I don't think there is any issue in that. That's how I told in the beginning. that we are slightly projecting higher growth, credit growth in the subsequent financial year, that is 21-22, anywhere between 10 to 12% should be the.
Oh, great. Sorry, that is, I think, the first banker who has given this kind of very optimistic growth target, and I think you should achieve it, sir. Just on this, which is always my concern. You see, in wholesale banking, if you see, as compared to 1,133 crore of loss, this quarter it is only 896 crore, whereas unallocated loss has increased to 272 crore from 49 crore. So how does it happen? I mean, what can be unallocated which can trigger a loss of 225 crore more than the last quarter?
We will have to analyze.
We have to analyze that. We have to revert back to on this. Shankar,
Segment.
We have noted down. Please note down and revert back. Yes. This is a little unconventional question, but welcome question.
Yes, because there is an anomaly. I mean, anomaly in the sense there are divergence in the numbers and figures. So,
Ashok ji, we will revert back to you on this.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sushil Choksey from Indus Equity Advisors. Please go ahead.
Sir, you said that you would like to ideally raise 4,000 crores of between tier 1 and equity. What is the ideal number which you're looking for, sir?
As of now, there is nothing called ideal on this. We need to build a buffer. We got a board-approved plan, 8,000 crore. We need to try out various combinations depending on the market appetite and the evolving situation. We are seeing some successes and some banks are not succeeding. So this is the basic minimum we are trying. We have just started about the capital mobilization last month. So we have got about 2,500 crore of Tier 2 bonds which are due for redemption sometime next year. There also we want to take some advance action so that capital is not a casualty. So
are you hoping for a rating upgrade to be aligned with both the rating agencies and then go for it, or?
No, at the current rating itself, Tier 2 bonds should not be an issue.
Not Tier 2, I'm talking about Tier 1.
Tier 1, as of now, only will go for QIP. That is, I think, early next year we'll take a call on that. But step by step we'll go. Now, 81
Nothing in this quarter, you mean? No dilution in this sequence?
No, QIP under dilution, no dilution in this quarter.
Okay, secondly, sir, I was just looking at the advances growth. It predominantly comes from your international growth. Any specific geography or Indian corporates, or what advances would this signify?
No, international has not grown. In fact, it has degrown. It is only domestic advances which have kept the loan book growing and growing. Sequential. There is a growth, yeah. Some few centers we have thing, but we have a plan of action in specific centers. But again, the bread and butter will come from the domestic scenario only, where we have done a good number of sanctions up till now, and we will continue with that. And international, we will try to revive to its earlier level.
So your presentation shows foreign advances at 45,205 moving to 51,978. In domestic, 362,666 moving to 363,009. That's the reason I asked.
Sequentially. Yeah. The domestic part we will be relying more on, because international, of course, there are challenges. Domestic we can do more so in the RAM segment. We will do that. We will go for plain vanilla kind of thing, sir. Still, we can show profits, I think, going forward.
Second thing, sir, ideally your treasury well secured till what in HTM, otherwise till what? Are you comfortable till what rate of 10-year GSEC?
At what level GSEC yield you are comfortable?
Right, there is nothing like comfort level. See, we have kind of de-risked our portfolio. If you look at the duration of our AFS portfolio, it is less than 1.5. So even at the current levels, which is 602 today, we have negligible mark-to-market losses, and even if the yields spike up by 10 to 15 basis, it's not going to have any kind of significant impact on our pockets.
How active are we on corporate bonds, other than government schemes?
How active are you on corporate bonds?
Yeah, we have been quite active in the corporate bond sector also because of TLTRO and LTRO.
Other than TLTRO, no.
Like we are taking exposures on corporates on standalone basis also. Not very aggressive, but a small component, definitely.
Thank you and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and one. The next question is from the line of Rahul Gupta from Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, sir. Two questions from my side. You have highlighted that there are 6,000 crore of restructuring that has been invoked. So can you give me what would be the overlap of this number with pro forma NPL? And also, is this 6,000 crore already a part of your SMA loan book? That would be the first question from my side. Thank you.
There are a number of accounts. I think most of the accounts are overlapping. And this is also part of our SMA book.
Can you help us quantify what percentage or what quantum of this 6,000 would already be part of pro forma NPLs?
That we'll have to actually granularly look at it. We have not got into that. Okay.
Okay, got it. Sir, second and last question from my side. I missed the initial comments of the call. Have you made any provisions for interest income reversals during the quarter?
Yeah, we have made. URI reversal we have done.
So what would be that amount, sir?
290 crore. 290.
And that is taken through provisions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That is from my side. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashok Ajmera from Ajcon Global Services. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. What prompted me to come back again and ask this question, sir? You just referred this TLTRO. Sir, I have read in the RBI this recent announcement and policy also that the TLTRO tap is going to be running. So, are you looking for some more amount, because your treasury has performed very well otherwise also? If you look at the treasury operation result, the profit contribution major is from the treasury. So, are you looking at TLTRO still is open or it's closed? TLTRO 1 or 2 or running tap of TLTRO?
As of now, till date, we have not tapped this window, and we don't think there will be any need to tap the window at this juncture. As and when opportunities arise, we might think of, because it is on tap.
And what are your views on the NBFC funding, sir? NBFC credits, loans for the onward lending?
NBFC. अशोक जी Q3 रिजल्ट के टाइम में ये सब सिलेबस से बाहर पूछ रहे हैं.
Because, sir, most of the things you already explained. So,
Our credit rate will answer that question.
Yes, the growth outlook is significantly improved, so we are on to that. On case-to-case basis, we'll go for NBFCs.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and one to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Sohail Halai from Antique Stock Broking. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir, and congrats on a decent, good set of numbers.
Thank you.
Sir, couple of points from my side. One is, if I look at the technical write-off pool, it is somewhere around 29,000-30,000 crores, if I'm not wrong. So, if you could just help understand, basically, any recoveries are expected from these pool, any large recoveries?
So, Sarup, last year we got one.
Actually, major accounts are from the NCLT account. So once NCLT resolution amount starts pouring in, at that point of time, we are expecting good recovery in these PWA accounts.
Okay. And sir, in terms of the HFC account, basically in terms of the resolution, what could be our exposure to that?
Which account?
HFC, Housing Fund.
Exposure, HFC. HFC, you are talking about what? NCLT you are talking, or is that?
Sir, Diwan Housing, to be specific.
Diwan Housing. Our exposure is around 4,500 crores.
Okay. And basically, do you expect that to get resolved this quarter?
Yeah.
Okay. And it is fully provided for, right, sir?
Yes.
Okay. And sir, basically in terms of looking at the corporate book, if I actually look at it, the corporate book, the proportion of the government advances are very high, which we have been growing. If you could just help understand what is the yields that we are generating on this book?
See, it is not less than the average yield on advances that we have in our bank, 7.06. Most of the cases, except very rare accounts, one or two accounts where they are given fine rates, except that average yield is across the portfolio of government accounts is not less than 7.06.
Okay. And sir, final question from my side. If I actually look at the corporate book, if I look at the private corporate space, then probably private corporate lending book has declined significantly since FY19. I think so it is down by around 30% plus over the last 2.5 years. So can one assume that the corporate asset quality pressures will now not be there? And just wanted to add one more thing. In terms of when the moratorium or the restructuring was allowed, RBI allowed anything to get restructured which is SMA 0. SMA 1 and 2 was not allowed. So are there any pockets of stress left in the corporate book now after this post restructuring of 6,000 crores or that we are talking about?
No, they have been, all of them have been recognized, but some of them are still sitting in SMA 2 and SMA 2. Of course, once the moratorium goes off, it will actually get recognized as an NPA.
Okay. And so finally, any thoughts in terms of the credit quality in terms of agri and SME, because the NPL levels are generally a little higher?
See, the SME, of course, as you rightly said, our major portfolio is micro loans, so there is a lot of stress because of this COVID pandemic, and similarly the case with agri also. This COVID has created a lot of issues in terms of collections for us, so there is a lot of stress over there because collection efficiency has substantially come down in agricultural for us. Okay?
Yes.
So once the restoration happens and then once things come back to normal, the stress that you're seeing in this book will certainly ameliorate a great extent.
Okay, okay. Okay, sir, and best of luck, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Jay Mundra from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Thanks for the opportunity again. A few clarifications and then I have one or two questions, sir. First is the SMA 1-2 that we report, is it, this is for above 5 crores and above, right?
Yes, yes.
Right. And sir, if you were to, I think we do not report this SMA 1-2 above 5 crores, but if you are internally tracking, how much that would number be ballpark? I mean, would it be like 5,000, 10,000?
SMA book you are talking about?
Sir, below 5 crores SMA book.
Below 5 crores SMA book, see, traditionally our SMA book is around 3 to 3.5% of the standard advances, okay, with a slippage ratio of around 2%. Now, because of this COVID and other stress that we have created, there is a 100 bip jump in the numbers. So it is today at around 5.6%. Okay?
Right. All right. Okay. And sir, the pro forma slippages, now I think you would be doing at borrower level, right? Not at facility level. I mean, that is the RBI mandate, or you can actually do it on facility wise also. The pro forma slippages.
It is not facility wise, it is borrower wise.
Right. I think that is the mandate thing, right? I mean, this has to be mandatory, right?
Yes.
Right, sure. Okay. And sir, now, and just a clarification once more, the entire book, right, is supposed to be paying, right? Because the moratorium has ended for all segment, all ticket size of customers.
Yes.
So no customer is under moratorium whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And sir, just this thing on slide 15, wherein we have given the restructuring number, there is a other which is 5,000 crore. So is this MSME which RBI had given a window under January 1, 2019, or this is something else? What is this?
MSME it is.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, right. Okay. And sir, if you can quantify the exposure to this East India-based NCLT, NBFC, which has got a stay from NCLT, because I think that they will not be, it will not be in the SMA2 and neither it will be in pro forma slippages and neither it can be restructured.
It is there in the pro forma NPA, my dear.
Okay, but I think that NCLT had given a stay.
Stay they can give, but they cannot actually, it is stayed from the status quo is given from recognizing that as NPA.
Right.
SMA will continue to be there. No? SMA, there is no stay.
Okay. Okay. So it is there in SMA.
It is there in SMA and it is actually taken into consideration while as a part of pro forma NPA.
Oh, great. Okay. And sir, if you can quantify the amount, sir?
Around 1,000 crores.
Sure, sir. And last question to MD, sir.
30.
Sir, in the last round, we have been left out. In the last round of merger and consolidation, we actually were left out. And now we have a probably new round of either the FMS said there could be two banks which could be privatized. Any thought process, sir? I mean, we were left out in earlier round, probably with their media report suggesting that, he could be ideal candidate for in this round. Any thoughts there?
No, there is no thought as such. Only thing is that the announcement has been made. I think we should have little more patience to wait for the announcement, if any, because we don't have also access to any information, nor we have been officially intimated about any such proposals. So I think the best bet will be to wait and wait for any specific announcement. Otherwise, it will be a matter of conjecture.
All right. Okay, great. Thank you, sir, and all the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next question is from the line of Ashok Ajmera from Ajcon Global. Please go ahead. Ashok Ajmera, may I request you to unmute your line from your side and go ahead with your question?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. You're audible now.
Yeah. Sir, can you throw some light on the performance of our subsidiaries and joint venture and associates? Like we have got about, I think, 7-8 subsidiaries, and then one insurance, Star Union Daiichi, and the associate companies are also there. Do you have any numbers? Can you give some color, some light on that? Those performance of these so many subsidiaries and the other joint venture and other associate companies?
It is there in the presentation. If you have any specific question about any specific subsidiary, then we will attempt answering that. It is there, slide number 29 onwards. It is there.
Okay, I must have missed it actually. All right. Anything you would like to say on the Star Union Daiichi? I mean, how is the investment?
Doing very well, sir. It is doing very well. It has started turning around from last year and it is further consolidating. Doing well.
Okay, sir. Now, going forward, sir, as you said now 11-12% target of the credit and advances. So it means your reliance, which is there today only on the retail and, little bit of SME, will get shifted to the corporate or, some other big advances.
Yes, sir.
What sector, you are looking where you can put in your money? Any working on that or any?
No. Reliance is not entirely on RAM segment, sir. If you go for the composition of our loan books, you will find 49% that is retail or RAM segment, what you call. Yeah. And about 13 to 14% in government and rest are in corporate. Good mix. So we will, except for the stressed sectors identified by us where there are still stress and all, we will be selective, but we will go for good rated accounts in good sectors, including RAM, government and other good corporate sectors. We are open to that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And all the best.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. The next question is from the line of Chayan from Credit Suisse. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for giving the chance again. Sir, actually my question is on first on collection efficiency. What would be our normal collection efficiency run rates pre-COVID? And when do we plan to, or when do we see it normalizing? And second question is on NIMS. I'll follow that up once we're done with the CE question.
Yeah. See, with respect to this, my I would like to share with you something. Our collection efficiency in the working capital loans is almost 96% now. Okay. Only in term loans we see still the collection efficiency is at 70%, 75%. Okay. And term loans are typically, when we say term loans collection efficiency 71%, most of them are project loans, where COVID has affected the cash flows and therefore there is a delay in collection in these accounts. Okay. Otherwise, the collection efficiency in working capital book in all has already touched almost 90%. Okay. And similarly, in other rescheduled accounts, FITL accounts, and all that, our collection efficiency is reached almost 90%. So we see maybe in the second quarter or third quarter of 21-22, we will be able to actually reach to that original level of collection efficiency of around 96-97%, which used to be the usual collection efficiency for bank of our size.
Okay. And sir, secondly on the NIMs, our funding costs have come off decently in the past 2-3 quarters, but there's also pressure on the asset yields. So is that largely led by corporate because we're doing a lot of government advances? And how do we plan to go ahead? I mean, is this now the normalized level of NIMs that we'll operate at?
No, it is a broad base. Retail, margins are important, but if narrower margins, we have to now start learning to live with lesser margins, like many of the banks in the advanced countries and all that. And the requirement will be to push more for cost efficiency. To yield in a regime where, there is a lot of pressure, a lot of emphasis on, transmission of rates, how to streamline the lending rates and all that. So obviously there will be a downward bias always in the lending rates. It's not any specific segment that has, pulled down the yield and advances. It's a general trend. There may be some segments, as Mr. Rajgopal was saying, in certain government accounts we may have given a lot of fine rates. But those are all, most of them are matching up to our overall yield and advances. Yes, MSME, definitely we get more, and low rated, comparatively low rated accounts where we, put the premium on the charges. But there is no specific segment that we can ascribe to. Okay, that's the segment which is triggering this fall in yield and advances. And as you will agree, yield and advances, the downward trend has been in sync with the ecosystem as also in tune with many of the banks.
To supplement what our MD sir says, if you see, MSME loans also got repriced because RBI pushed for RBLR.
Correct.
Okay, and retail loans anyway are very, very aggressive because of fine rates offered across the system. And then what is left is the agricultural advances. Agricultural advances being stressed anyway, there is a problem there with respect to yield on advances. So it is not that only because we are growing corporate book there is a pressure on NIM. The pressure on NIMs are felt across the sectors in the asset book. It is not with us, it is the case with every bank that you see. So NIMs, I think, as rightly told by our MD sir, it will be around 2.5 will be very, very difficult to maintain going forward. So we'll have to manage with that NIMs and become very, very efficient in terms of managing with that 2 to 2.5 range.
Thank you very much. So the line for the participant dropped. We move on to the next participant. The next question is from the line of Suraj Das from BNK Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So my question is a couple of questions. First one is on the recovery front. So you mentioned that you expect the recovery from Diwan Housing this quarter. However, I want to know the recovery expectation from some of the other big accounts like Bhushan or Religare or maybe Reliance Group. And what is the timeline whenever you are expecting this recovery to happen?
Other big accounts, the expectation is not the Q4 21. Honestly, whether it is Religare, whether it is other big accounts, because it will take time. Most of them are stuck in NCLT. Some of them resolution plans are just underway. Typically, the accounts like Religare and other NBFC accounts you are referring to in the NBFC space, the approvals from RBI for the new promoters and the approval of NCLT and other SEBI approvals are all going to take quite some time. So we are not expecting any recovery during the next 2 quarters or so in 21-22. Maybe in the third or fourth quarter of 21-22, some resolution may take place in these accounts.
Any guidance on the quantum, sir? I mean, broad quantum that you were expecting from this?
Nothing is on table as on date, so I will not be able to put any number to you for a very simple reason. I don't have any resolution plan in place which is visible to me where I can actually put a number to the recoveries in these accounts.
The only silver lining there is that we have got 90% provision already made in those accounts. So we will be also eagerly waiting for some resolution, NCLT to start functioning normal course, so that we can, capitalize on those.
Right, got it. So if just you can share the exposure to Hussain Power only?
Hussain Power, we don't have any exposure.
Okay. And the second question is, sir, on just a data keeping question. So on the ECLGS front, sir, what has been the disbursed and sanctioned amount?
5,700, I think, is the sanction amount, and disbursement is about 4,800.
Okay. That is cumulative number up to December.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, as there are no further questions, I will now hand the conference over to Shri A.K. Das for closing comments.
Once again, thanks to all participants for this virtual conference. And we could get very interesting questions. And one or two, I think we have already, advised the department to follow it up and share. Once again, I would re-emphasize that we are on strong, sustained growth path in Q3 and Q4. Also, we will endeavor to do that. And thanks for all your support. And I'm sure all of you are pro-financial professionals. You will do justice to whatever analysis you do. And please feel free to share with us in future if anything you feel will help the balance sheet qualitatively. Definitely, we will have more interactions on this regard. Once again, thank you very much.